Right. I'm getting tired, so let's try to do some more readings. I'll try to do one, and I'll lay down for like 5-10 minutes, and then keep repeating that, I think. Because that seems to be the comfiest. So, chapter 72 to chapter 80 of Psalms. 72 to 80. Psalm 72. O God, give your judgments to the king, and endow the son of the king with your righteousness. Oh, there we go. May he plead the cause of your people with righteousness, and of your lowly ones with justice. May the mountains bring peace to the people, and may the hills bring righteousness. Let him defend the lowly among the people. Let him save the sons of the poor, and let him crush the defrauder. They will fear you as long as there is a sun, as long as there is a moon, or as long as a moon remains, for generation after generation. He will be like the rain that falls on the mown grass, like showers of rain that water the earth. In his days the righteous will flourish, and peace will abound until the moon is no more. He will have subjects from sea to sea, and from river to the ends of the earth. The desert dwellers will bow down before him, and his enemies will lick the dust. The kings of Tarshish and of the islands will pay tribute. The kings of Sheba and of Seba will present gifts. All the kings will bow down before him, and all the nations will serve him. For he will rescue the poor who cry for help, also the lowly one, and whoever has no helper. He will have pity on the lowly and the poor, and the lives of the poor he will save. From oppression and from violence he will rescue them, and their blood will be precious in his eyes. May he live and be given the gold of Sheba. May prayers be said for him continually, and may he be blessed all day long. There will be an abundance of grain on the earth. On the top of the mountains it will overflow. His fruit will flourish as in Lebanon, and in the cities people will blossom like the vegetation of the earth. May his name endure forever, and may it prosper as long as the sun. May people obtain a blessing for themselves by means of him. May all nations pronounce him happy. May Jehovah God be praised, Israel's God, who alone does wonderful things. May his glorious name be praised forever, and may his glory fill the whole earth. Amen and amen. This completes the prayers of David, the son of Jesse. Psalm 73. Okay, this is book 3. God is truly good to Israel, to those pure in heart. As for me, my feet had almost strayed. My steps had nearly slipped. For I became envious of the arrogant when I would see the peace of the wicked. For they have no pain in their death. Their bodies are healthy. They are not troubled like other humans, nor do they suffer like other men. Therefore, haughtiness is their necklace. Violence clothes them as a garment. Their prosperity makes their eyes bulge. They have exceeded the imaginations of the heart. They scoff and say evil things. They arrogantly threaten oppression. They speak as if they were as high as heaven, and their tongues swagger about in the earth. So his people turn aside to them, and they drink from their abundant water. They say, how does God know? Does the Most High really have knowledge? Yes, these are the wicked who always have it easy. They keep increasing their wealth. Surely in vain I have kept my heart pure and washed my hands of innocence. And I was troubled all day long. Every morning I was chastised. But if I had said these things, I would have betrayed your people. When I tried to understand it, it was troubling to me, until I entered the grand sanctuary of God, and I discerned their future. Surely you place them on slippery ground. You make them fall to their ruin. How suddenly they are devastated. How sudden is their finish as they come to a terrible end. Like a dream when one wakes up, O Jehovah, when you rouse yourself, you will dismiss their image. But my heart was sour, and deep inside I felt sharp pain. I was unreasoning and lacked understanding. I was like a senseless beast before you. But now I am continually with you. You have taken hold of my right hand. You guide me with your advice, and afterward you will lead me to glory. Whom do I have in the heavens? And besides you, I desire nothing on earth. My body and my heart may fail, but God is the rock of my heart and my portion forever. Truly, those keeping far from you will perish. You will put an end to everyone who immorally leaves you. But as for me, drawing near to God is good for me. I have made the sovereign Lord Jehovah my refuge to declare all your works. Psalm 74. Why, O God, have you rejected us forever? Why does your anger burn against the flock of your pasture? Remember the people you acquired long ago, the tribe you redeemed as your inheritance. Remember Mount Zion, where you have resided. Oh my gosh. I totally thought something was burning like that. There's like a sound, but it's actually just a high pitched whine that I wasn't even aware of from the fan. That's crazy. For some reason, I just totally focused on it. That was nuts. All right, let's see. Direct your steps to the perpetual ruins. The enemy has devastated everything in the holy place. Your foes roared inside your meeting place. They have set up your own banners as signs there. They were like men wielding axes against a thick forest. They broke up all its engravings with axes and iron bars. They set your sanctuary on fire. They profaned the tabernacle bearing your name, casting it to the ground. They and their offspring have said in their hearts, all the meeting places of God in the land must be burnt. There are no signs for us to see. There is no longer any prophet, and no one among us knows how long this will last. How long, O God, will the adversary keep taunting? Will the enemy treat your name with disrespect forever? Why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? Draw it out of your bosom and put an end to them. But God is my king from long ago, the one performing acts of salvation on the earth. You stirred up the sea with your strength. You smashed the heads of the sea monsters in the waters. You crushed the heads of the Leviathan. You gave it as food to the people, to those inhabiting the deserts. You cut openings for the springs and the streams. You dried up ever flowing rivers. The day belongs to you, also the night. You made the light and the sun. You set up all the boundaries of the earth. You made summer and winter. Remember the enemy's taunts, O Jehovah, how a foolish people treats your name with disrespect. Do not surrender the life of your turtle dove to the wild beasts. Do not forget the life of your afflicted people forever. Remember the covenant, for the dark places of the earth have become full of haunts of violence. Hold on one sec. You give me so much ice, like 38 pounds in just a day. Super fast ice in like just 10 minutes. Okay. Oh my god, this song is annoying as heck. Holy crap. Oh gosh, okay. Let's get back into it. Let's see. Make sun and light. Under the earth. Remember the covenant, for the dark places of the earth have become full of the haunts of violence. May the crushed one not turn away disappointed. May the lowly and the poor praise your name. Rise up, O God, and plead your legal case. Remember how the foolish taunt you all day long. Do not forget what your foes are saying. The uproar of those who defy you is ascending constantly. Psalm 75. We give thanks to you, O God. We give thanks to you. Your name is near, and people declare your wondrous works. You say, when I set a time, I judge with fairness. When the earth and all its inhabitants were dissolved, It was I who kept its pillars firm. Salah. I say to the boastful, do not boast, and to the wicked, do not exalt your strength. Do not exalt your strength up high, or speak with arrogance, for exaltation does not come from the east, or the west, or the south. For God is judge. He puts one man down and exalts another. For there is a cup in Jehovah's hand. The wine is foaming and is fully mixed. He will surely pour it out, and all the wicked of the earth will drink it, down to the dregs. But as for me, I will proclaim it forever. I will sing praises to the God of Jacob, for he says, I will cut off all the strength of the wicked, but the strength of the righteous will be exalted. Psalm 76. God is known as in Judah, in Israel his name is great. His shelter is in Salem, and his dwelling is in Zion. There he broke There he broke the flaming arrows of the bow, the shield and the sword, and the weapon of war. Salah. You shine brightly. You are more majestic than the mountains of prey. The courageous of heart have been plundered. They have fallen asleep. The warriors were all helpless. From your rebuke, O God of Jacob, both the charioteer and the horse have fallen fast asleep. You alone are awe-inspiring. Who can withstand your intense anger? From heaven, you pronounced judgment. The earth was afraid and was silent. When God rose up to execute judgment, to save all the meek of the earth, Salah. For the rage of man will serve to your praise. With the remnants of your rage, you will adorn yourself. Make your vows to Jehovah your God, and pay them. And let all who are around him bring their gift in fear. He will humble the pride of leaders. He inspires fear in the kings of the earth. All right, Psalm 77. With my voice I will cry out to God I will cry out, and he will hear me. In the day of my distress I search for Jehovah. At night my hands are stretched out to him without ceasing. I cannot be comforted. When I remember God, I groan. I am troubled and my strength fails. Salah. You hold my eyelids open. I am agitated and cannot speak. My thoughts turn to the days of long ago, the years of the distant past. During the night I remember my song. I ponder in my heart. I make a diligent search. Will Jehovah cast us off forever? Will he never again show his favor? Has his loyal love ceased forever? Will his promise come to nothing for all generations? Has God forgotten to show his favor? Or has his anger caused his mercy to cease? Salah. Must I keep saying, this is what distresses me? The Most High has changed his position toward us. I will remember the works of Jah. I will remember your marvelous deeds of long ago, and I will meditate on all your activity and ponder over the dealings. O God, your ways are holy. What God is as great as you, O God? You are the true God, who does marvelous things. You have revealed your strength to the peoples. With your power, you have rescued your people, the sons of Jacob and Joseph. Salah. The waters saw you, O God. The waters saw you and were disturbed, and the deep waters became agitated. The clouds poured down water, the cloudy skies thundered, and your arrows flew here and there. The sound of your thunder was like the chariot wheels. Flashes of lightning lit up inhabited earth. The earth trembled and quaked. Your way was through the sea, your path through many waters, but your footprints could not be traced. You led your people just like a flock in the care of Moses and Aaron. Psalm 78. Listen, my people, to my law. Incline your ear to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a proverb. I will propound riddles of long ago, the things we have heard and know, which our fathers have related to us. We will not hide from their sons. We will relate to the generation to come the praiseworthy deeds of Jehovah and his strength, the wonderful things he has done. He established a reminder in Jacob and set a law in Israel. He commanded our forefathers to make these things known to their children, so that the next generation, the children yet to be born, might know them. They in turn would relate them to their children. Then these would put their confidence in God. They would not forget God's works, but would observe his commandments. Then they would not be like their forefathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation whose heart was unsteady and whose spirit was not faithful to God. The Ephraimites were armed with the bow, but they retreated in the day of battle. They did not keep the covenant of God and refused to walk in his law. They also forgot what he had done, his wonderful works that he showed them. He did marvelous things in the sight of their forefathers in the land of Egypt, the region of Zoan. He split the sea to let them pass through, and he made the waters stand up like a dam. He led them with a cloud by day, and the whole night with the light of a fire. He split rocks in the wilderness. He let them drink their fill as if from deep waters. He brought streams out of a crag and caused waters to flow down like rivers. But they continued to sin against him by rebelling against the Most High in the desert. They challenged God in their heart by demanding food that they craved. So they spoke against God, saying, "Can God spread a table in the wilderness? Look, he struck a rock so that the waters flowed and the streams flooded out. Can he also give us bread? Or can he provide meat for his people?" When Jehovah heard them, he became furious. A fire blazed against Jacob, and his anger flared up against Israel, because they did not put faith in God. They did not trust in his ability to save them. So he commanded the cloudy skies above, and he opened the doors of heaven. He kept raining down manna for them to eat. He gave them the grain of heaven. Men ate the bread of mighty ones. He provided enough to satisfy them. He stirred up the east wind in the heavens, and made a south wind blow by his power. And he rains down meat on them like dust, birds like the sand of the seashore. He made them fall in the midst of his camp, all around his tents, and they ate and gorged themselves. He gave them what they desired. But before they were fully satisfied their craving, while the food was yet in their mouth, God's wrath flared up against them. He put to death their strongest men. He brought down the young men of Israel. Despite this, they sinned even more, and did not put faith in his wonderful works. So he brought their days to an end as if a mere breath, and their years by sudden terrors. But as often as he killed them, they would search for him. They would return and look for God, remembering that God was their rock, and that the Most High God was their Redeemer. But they tried to deceive him with their mouth, and lied to him with their tongue. Their heart was not steadfast toward him, and they were not faithful to his covenant. But he was merciful. He would forgive their error and not bring them to ruin. He often held back his anger, instead of stirring up all his wrath. For he remembered that they were flesh, a wind that blows past and does not return. How often they rebelled against him in the wilderness and made him feel hurt in the desert. Again and again they put God to the test, and they grieved the Holy One of Israel. They did not remember his power, the day that he rescued them from the adversary, how he displayed his signs in Egypt and his miracles in the region of Zoan, and how he turned the Nile canals into blood so that they could not drink from their streams. He sent swarms of gadflies to devour them, and frogs to bring them to ruin. He gave their crops to voracious locusts, the fruit of their labor to the swarming locusts. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with hailstones. He gave their beasts of burden over to the hail, and their livestock to the lightning bolts. He inflicted his burning anger on them, fury and indignation and distress, companies of angels bringing calamity. He cleared a pathway for his anger. He did not spare them from death, and he gave them over to pestilence. Finally, he struck down all the firstborn of Egypt, the beginning of their procreative power in the tents of Ham. Then he brought his people out like a flock, and guided them like a drove in the wilderness. He led them in security, and they felt no fear. The sea covered their enemies, and he brought them to his holy territory, the mountainous region that is his right hand acquired. He drove out the nations from before them. He allotted to them an inheritance by the measuring line. He settled the tribes of Israel in their homes. But they kept challenging God of the Most High and rebelling against him. They did not pay attention to his reminders. They also turned away and were as treacherous as their forefathers. They were as unreliable as a loose bow. They kept defending him with their high places, and they incited him to fury with their carved images. God heard and became furious, so he utterly rejected Israel. He finally forsook the tabernacle of Shiloh, the tent where he had resided among men. He let the symbol of his strength go into captivity, his splendor into the hand of the adversary. He handed his people over to the sword and became furious with his inheritance. Fire consumed his young men, and to his virgins no wedding songs were sung. His priests fell by the sword, and their own widows did not weep. Then Jehovah woke up as from sleep, like a mighty man waking up from wine. And he drove his adversaries back. He put them to lasting disgrace. He rejected the tent of Joseph. He did not choose the tribe of Ephraim, but he chose the tribe of Judah, Mount Zion, which he loves. He makes his sanctuary as enduring as the heavens, like the earth that he has established forever. He chose David his servant, and took him from the sheep pens. From tending the nursing ewes, he made him the shepherd over Jacob his people, and over Israel his inheritance. He shepherded them with integrity of heart, and with skillful hands he led them. Psalm 79. O God, the nations have invaded your inheritance. They have defiled your holy temple. They have turned Jerusalem into a heap of ruins. They have given the dead bodies of your servants as food to the birds of the heavens, and the flesh of your loyal ones to the wild beasts of the earth. They have poured out their blood like water around Jerusalem. Hold on one sec. Let's turn it down. Oh, that's a big difference. Okay. I need a second to adjust to that. I didn't realize how bright that was. Okay, here we go. And the flesh of your loyal ones to the wild beasts of the earth. They have poured out their blood like water around Jerusalem, and no one is left to bury them. They have become an object of reproach to our neighbors. Those around us ridicule and jeer us. How long, O Jehovah, will you be furious? Forever? How long will your indignation burn just like fire? Pour out your wrath on the nations that do not know you, and on the kingdoms that do not call on your name. For they have devoured Jacob, and have desolated his homeland. Do not hold us accountable for the errors of our ancestors. Quickly show us your mercy, for we have been brought very low. Help us, O God of our salvation, for the sake of your glorious name. Rescue us and forgive your sins for the sake of your name. Why should the nations say, where is their God? Before our eyes it may become known among the nations that the shed blood of your servants has been avenged. May you hear the sighing of the prisoner. Use your great power to preserve those sentenced to death. Repay our neighbors sevenfold for the taunts they have leveled at you, O Jehovah. Then we, your people, and the flock of your pasture will give thanks to you forever, and we will declare your praise from generation to generation. Psalm 80. O shepherd of Israel, listen. You who are guiding Joseph just like a flock, you who sit enthroned above, the cherub shine forth. Before Ephraim and Benjamin and Manasseh, do stir up your mightiness. Come and save us, O God. Restore us. Let your face shine upon us, so that we may be saved. Jehovah, God of armies, how long will you be hostile toward the prayer of your people? You feed them tears as their bread, and you make them drink tears beyond measure. You let our neighbors quarrel over us. Our enemies keep mocking us as they please. O God of armies, restore us. Let your face shine upon us, so that we may be saved. You made a vine depart from Egypt. You drove out the nations and planted it. You cleared a space for it, and it took root and filled the land. The mountains were covered by its shadow, and the cedars of God by its branches. Its branches reached as far as the sea, and its shoots to the river. Why have you broken down the stone walls of the vineyard, so that all those passing by pluck its fruit? The boars of the forest ravage it, and the wild animals of the field feed on it. O God of armies, please return. Look down from heaven and see. Take care of this vine, the stock that your right hand has planted, and look upon the son whom you made strong for yourself. It is burnt with fire, cut down. They perish at your rebuke. May your hands give support to the man at your right hand, to the Son of Man you have made strong for yourself. Then we will not turn away from you. Preserve us alive, so that we may call upon your name, or on your name. O Jehovah, God of armies, restore us. Let your face shine upon us, so that we may be saved. I think that's AV62. Yay.